There once was a boy who hated effort, not just chores or schoolwork, but anything that required him to step out of comfort to move his body or even stretch his mind. Every day felt like a shadow of itself. He would wake reluctantly, shuffle through tasks, and fall asleep carrying a quiet guilt he tried to ignore. Do you know that feeling? The weight of knowing you should do something but the energy to actually do it feels just out of reach? That restless anxiety in the chest, the subtle ache of unfulfilled potential? That was him day after day, wondering why life seemed dull, why others seemed to thrive while he lingered in the same place. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, painting the sky in deep oranges and purples, he wondered aloud to himself, will I ever change? Or am I destined to drift, always tired, always behind? Little did he know that very night would mark the beginning of a journey, one that would transform not just his habits, but his very understanding of life. His name was Arin. He was 17 with untidy hair that seemed to match his scattered thoughts. He lived in a small village at the edge of a wide forest, where the wind whispered through the trees like secrets waiting to be discovered. Mornings were the hardest. The alarm would ring, but he would hit snooze again and again, his bed a soft trap that kept him tethered to comfort. Arin's parents were hard-working folk. His mother rose before sunrise to cook and tend to the animals, while his father labored in the fields until his hands were calloused and tired. Yet when Arin looked at them, he only felt a dull envy. Why must effort be so painful? He thought. Days blurred into each other. He spent mornings lazily wandering the village, afternoons staring at the river that cut through the valley, and nights awake with restless thoughts, wondering why he felt unfulfilled. His friends would invite him to games or help in their family businesses, but he always found excuses. Even small tasks seemed monumental. Inside, though, a quiet unease had begun to grow. There was a small voice, soft as a whisper in the night, saying, "You are capable of more, but you must first believe it yourself." One day, as Arin sat by the river skipping stones, an old traveler arrived in the village. His robes were dusty from the road, and his eyes sparkled with a strange, calm wisdom. The villagers whispered that he was a teacher of life, someone who had wandered through forests and mountains, learning truths that ordinary people never did. Curiosity, which Arin had not felt for a long time, stirred inside him. That night he approached the traveler sitting near the lantern-lit square. "Sir," Arin began hesitantly, "how do you find purpose in life? I feel tired all the time. I cannot seem to do anything meaningful." The traveler looked at him kindly, eyes twinkling. "Purpose," he said slowly, "is not found by waiting. It is discovered through effort. You cannot learn its weight by standing idle." Arin frowned. "But effort, it is painful. I cannot keep up," the traveler smiled. "Pain is a companion on the road to growth. Are you willing to walk with it?" For a moment, Arin hesitated. The thought of leaving the comfort of his idle days felt terrifying. Yet as he gazed at the stars reflecting on the river, he felt a small flame ignite, a curiosity, a longing to try, even just a little. The next morning, he packed a small bag and followed the traveler into the forest. Every step felt heavier than the last. Roots tangled underfoot, branches scratched his arms, and sweat dripped into his eyes. But for the first time, Arin felt alive. After several days of walking, they arrived at a mountain. Its peak disappeared into clouds, and the path was steep and jagged. The traveler turned to Arin. "Climb to the top," he said. "But there is a rule. You may only rest when you truly need to. And you must carry this stone," he added, handing Arin a heavy, rough boulder. Arin's arms ached immediately. The stone was heavier than anything he had carried, and the mountain seemed endless. I cannot do this," he groaned. "Try," the traveler replied simply. "Every step teaches something. The mountain will speak if you listen." Hours passed. Arin stumbled, his legs shaking, his breath ragged. He thought of turning back, of leaving the stone and returning to his lazy, comfortable life. Yet each time he looked at the traveler, steady and calm, he felt a flicker of determination. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over the rocky slopes, Arin faced the most dangerous stretch. Loose stones slid beneath his feet, and the wind howled through the cliffs. Panic rose in his chest, threatening to crush his resolve. He gritted his teeth, whispered to himself, "Just one more step, one more step." Finally, exhausted and trembling, he reached a small plateau near the peak. He sank to his knees, the stone still clutched in his hands. Tears streamed down his face, not from pain, but from an overwhelming sense of achievement. He had struggled, faltered, and yet he had not given up. The traveler approached, his gaze gentle. "Do you see now, Arin?" he asked. Arin looked around. Below him, the forest stretched like a living sea of green. The wind carried the scents of pine and wildflowers. Above, the clouds glowed pink and gold in the fading light. He realized he had never truly seen anything like this before. I did it," he whispered, still holding the stone. "Yes," said the traveler, "but notice something more. The mountain did not make you strong. Your effort did. Every step, every stumble, every time you wanted to give up but continued. That is where strength is born." Arin's heart swelled with understanding. The stone, the climb, the pain, they were symbols, lessons in disguise. Life would not hand him purpose or success. He must carry it, shape it, struggle for it. The traveler knelt beside him. Hard work is not punishment. It is the path to freedom. Laziness keeps you trapped in your own shadow. Effort, mindful, persistent effort, reveals the light inside you. Arin closed his eyes. For the first time, he felt clarity. The fog of doubt, the heavy weight of regret lifted. He understood that every small act, every deliberate choice to push forward, was a step toward becoming the person he had always longed to be. By the time Arin descended the mountain, he was no longer the boy who feared effort. His steps were lighter, not because the path had changed, but because he had. The stone had been left at the peak, a reminder that struggle and reward are inseparable. Back in the village, he greeted his parents with a new energy. He rose earlier, helped in the fields, learned to care for the animals, and even took up painting, something he had once deemed too much work. Every task, no matter how small, felt like a choice, and every choice carried meaning. Neighbors noticed the change. Friends who once teased him for laziness now looked to him for advice. Inspired by his transformation, Arin smiled quietly, remembering the traveler's words. Strength is born from effort. Freedom comes from choice. At night, as he lay under the stars, he felt a peaceful exhaustion, a calm, contented fatigue that spoke of purpose fulfilled. The boy who had once drifted aimlessly through life had learned the rhythm of effort, the satisfaction of progress, and the quiet joy of seeing dreams shaped by his own hands. Have you ever felt like Arin? Trapped in comfort, longing for more, yet afraid of the work it takes? We all carry stones, tasks, dreams, challenges that feel too heavy. And sometimes it is easier to remain idle, to dream without acting. But what if, like Arin, you took the first step? What if each small effort, every choice to try when it seems too hard, began to shape your own mountain? The journey may be steep, the stone heavy, and the wind harsh, but you will discover strength you never knew existed. Ask yourself, where am I holding back? What effort am I avoiding because it feels too painful? Life does not reward hesitation, but it transforms those who persist. Your mountain awaits, your stone awaits, and with every step, you are no longer the same person you were yesterday. Thank you for listening to Arin's story. Remember, hard work is not a punishment. It is a path to freedom, purpose, and inner strength. Every small effort you make, every step you take, carries meaning. If this story inspired you, consider sharing it with someone who might need a reminder of their own potential. And if you'd like more stories that guide, motivate, and soothe, subscribe and join this journey with us. Until next time, take your stone in hand, step forward, and embrace the mountain. Your strength is waiting for you quietly, patiently, and always within reach.